Hello and welcome to our weekly Zoom meeting. I'm so delighted to see that you're here with us today. I'm very excited about our guest speaker that we're having and looking forward to getting to know more about her and what she's passionate about. My name is Gloria Libecker, and Redox found me about a year ago. Marian Palmer reached out to me on social media, and she was just a super friendly lady, and she was really curious about me and what it is that I do here at Healing New Sanctuary. And as we got to talking, she learned that I had surgery, and we started talking about, well, what do you do to support your body from healing? And asked me this amazing question: have you ever heard of redox signaling molecules? And I never had. And I was open to hearing about it. So when she sent me some links, I had time on my hands because I was healing from my surgery. And I was fascinated with what I was discovering. I love relational neuroscience, and they were talking about the relationship with our body. And it just fascinated me, and it made so much sense. So I wanted to sign up right away. Marian wanted to connect me with Marcia White first, and I'm so glad she did, because I just love Marcia. She also had a similar struggle that I did with breathing, and I got to hear her amazing story. And it gave me so much hope for my own health. And then she also shared with me more about the business model. And I'm like, okay, I'm jumping all the way in. I went with the entrepreneur pack, and I've just been learning and absorbing as much as I can along the way. This has been such an incredible family to discover. I didn't know I was going to get to have. A little bit of personal stuff. I don't have a real close family of origin, and I've missed that. And so what I'm discovering is I'm developing a family that's more close-knit because they share the same values that I do. And I'm ever so grateful for those. And at the same time, I'm getting to meet more and more people and really bless more lives. That means a lot to me. So the first person that I got to bring on board, I want to introduce to you now. It's Ruth Cray. So I'm going to hand off to you, Ruth.
Yeah, I was also very fascinated with this technology. And every day I am just amazed with the molecules and how they have supported my body. Today I've been drinking mood all day long, drinking Asea, and then adding the mood because that really supports the mood to work. But when I'm needing a sense of calm or things are not feeling so comfortable in my environment, it just brings a sense of calm to my world that is just unbelievable. So now I'd like to introduce a video, and it goes over 5 scientific facts that are quite interesting and to help you learn about Asea.
The North Carolina Research Campus is one of the world's leading science facilities. Focusing on the advancement of nutrition and human health, the campus houses the largest and most advanced collection of scientific equipment in genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, light microscopy, and nuclear magnetic resonance. Dr. David C. Nieman, professor at Appalachian State University, directs the Human Performance Lab at the North Carolina Research Campus. Dr. Nieman, a pioneer in the research area of exercise physiology, has published more than 260 peer-reviewed papers, sits on 9 science journal editorial boards, and has published 9 books on health, nutrition, and exercise physiology. Over the past few years, Asea has partnered with Dr. Nieman, the Human Performance Lab, and the North Carolina Research Campus to further our understanding of the science behind Asea and the impact this product is having on humanity. Thanks to Dr. Nieman and others, we already know a great deal about this exceptional product. But recent advances have given us even greater insight. This brief video presents the latest in scientific knowledge regarding Asea and its extraordinary benefits. There are very few products in the world that have zero toxicity at any level. Supplements, medicines, even the food that we eat can be toxic if we consume too much. Asea is an extraordinary exception. Millions upon millions of dollars have been spent in safety studies, and the results are conclusive. In both acute and long-term studies, and in high concentrations, Asea demonstrated absolutely zero endotoxicity, cytotoxicity, and genotoxicity. No cellular damage, no chromosome damage, no reverse mutation, nothing. Asea's safety record is unparalleled and unsurpassed. You can be confident drinking Asea. Central to all research conducted by Dr. Niemann and his team was a vital question. What exactly is in Asea? What is it made of?
We test many different types of nutritional and beverage products, and when we do research with these products, we have to know exactly what is in the product, because when we test a product and then measure certain outcomes that occur, unless we know exactly what is in that product and then can describe it and then how we measured that, we can't publish the data.
And so the team at the North Carolina Research Campus analyzed the constituent elements of Asea using one of the largest and most specialized pieces of equipment in the world, the 950 megahertz Bruker Nuclear Magnetic Resonance Spectrometer. What did they learn?
Our team needed to know what was in this drink, and we found that it is not simply salt water. It contains superoxide molecules, which are special signaling molecules that the muscle typically creates when you exercise, but they signal and then are gone in less than a second. We showed that this drink is not simply salt water. It does have superoxide signaling molecules in the drink.
The implications of these findings are momentous. For the first time in recorded history, these specialized signaling molecules, which should be fleeting, have been stabilized and put in a bottle. The scientific importance of this fact cannot be emphasized enough. Not only is this product not salt water, but it is a formulation of stabilized molecules once thought impossible. When Dr. Niemann and his team studied the effects of Asea on cyclists, one of the things they looked for was metabolite shifts. These shifts in tiny molecules indicate bioactivity, something happening within the cells.
We did a study where we had 12 individuals come into the lab, and in random order in the morning they drank either 4 ounces of Asea or placebo. They did that every day for a week. And then we took blood samples 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes immediately during the first day, and then at 3 days and 7 days, we showed that within 30 minutes after drinking the drink, there is a shift in these molecules. And by the end of the week, it was a significant shift in metabolite.
Pharmacokinetics, also known as PK, is the study of the absorption, distribution, and metabolism of supplements in the human body. As Dr. Niemann performed this Asea PK study with human subjects, something remarkable emerged. Significant shifts in metabolites were seen within the first 30 minutes of ingestion. But more importantly, additional different metabolite shifts took place after 90 minutes, 150 minutes, 3 hours, 6 hours, even 24 hours after ingestion. Taking Asea once in the morning resulted in different metabolites shifting throughout the day. The degree of bioactivity of Asea is truly astounding. At the annual Asea convention held in September 2012, Dr. Niemann presented initial findings resulting from testing Asea in mice. Among these findings was the fact that mice on Asea experienced an extraordinary 29% increase in endurance.
That study is a big deal. It really is. I mean, mice just don't run 29% longer for nothing.
A 29% increase in endurance is phenomenal, and further research will help us understand what this means for athletes and others who drink Asea. Another major finding in Dr. Neiman's research with mice was that muscle glycogen, a major source of fuel for the muscles, was depleted at a slower rate for mice on Asea.
Why did those mice run longer? One thing that we found was that the muscles preferred fuel for running, glycogen, that the amount that was used per minute was actually lower, about a third lower per minute in the mice on Asea.
As we continue to add to our understanding and knowledge, we have 5 undisputed, scientifically verified facts about Asea, the world's first and only redox signaling supplement. Fact 1. Asea has been proven to be 100% safe and non-toxic. Fact 2. Asea is not salt water. Asea is proven to contain stabilized signaling molecules. Fact 3. Asea causes major, multiple shifts in metabolites in the human body. Fact 4. Asea causes a 29% increase in endurance in mice. Fact 5. Asea causes a 33% decrease in muscle glycogen depletion in mice. Taken together, these facts add tremendously to our understanding of the product and give a solid footing for additional scientific research into Asea and its benefits.
Asea has a very unique product. This company could have just made their millions and ran on to something else. Instead, they have decided to put in considerable funding to research on the product and what it does to human health and performance. And I respect that. I think it's a sign of a very strong company that is looking ahead to the future, and we're happy to be a part of that process.
I think you're muted, Marian.
Very much. Everybody's being patient with me. I appreciate that study. It was done after I learned about Asea, but it could have been done on me. I had heard about what might help me. I am a backpacker, hiker, and I was ready to quit because I just didn't have the energy and I didn't have the air in me when I got above 10,000 feet. Well, 29% increase in endurance, I think that happened to me as well as a little mouse. And I'm able to have fun in the mountains again. And I'm not as sore. Oh my goodness. I would go to bed when I was hiking and I would just ache, and I'd get up in the morning and ache. And now I don't anymore. Soon after I had joined Asea and was having all these benefits, we had a meeting in Spokane. And when I walked in, there was a gentleman who stood at the door, and he just took my hands and he said, "Marian, tell me about how Asea has helped you. Tell me about your story." And I didn't think too much about it. I just shared with him, and he was just so interested and so thrilled with, he was talking to everybody. Well, this was Burtis Norton. He is our founder. He has a treasure box of stories that people have given him, written to him about life's changed. Which brings me to our wonderful guest, Amy. When I heard your story, Amy, I thought, okay, this needs to go in the treasure box. So I'm just so thrilled that you are with us. I tell you, to be as young as you are and to have the story that you have, I'm going to just get into some of our questions. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Amy.
Well, I thank you for having me, first off. I'm so blessed to be here. I am, how old am I now? I don't even know. 32. I'm almost 33. I think my husband always has to remind me. I'm not great with time, but I I have dealt with health issues for most of my life, and we didn't know root reasons until about 2.5 years ago, maybe two. But I have spent 15 years hopping from doctor to doctor, taking some time off to try to self-treat and self-manage with diet and things like that. But in that time, outside of my illness struggle, my degree is in classical music. I was a professional opera singer before getting very sick. I have a band. I also was a freelance artist. So I do all kinds of things like website design, graphic design, illustration, whatever people need. I've just been in the arts as a whole for most of my life. And my husband and I founded a nonprofit. He's a writer and an educator, and where we help people that are incarcerated with all kinds of different life skills. We have multiple programs we do. And so I was teaching music therapy and creative writing, and do teach that on the inside of the jail, and just help people have better lives and have tools for when they get back into society to be able to rejoin well. So that's kind of what our world is. It's a lot of creative, it's a lot of teaching. And then getting sick has thrown a wrench in all of it, as you can imagine. So my main issues right now are, I have to think hard about non-medical terms. So bear with me, but tick-borne illnesses that have really ravaged a lot of systems. And so therefore, over time, not discovering that multiple systems in my body have started failing. And so I spend a lot of time with, I have a great team now of doctors that I love, and I spend a lot of time with them and for multiple reasons. So yeah, through all of that, I've learned a lot about how the body works and how God created us to heal. And I don't wish it on anyone, but I'm so grateful for the journey and all the things that I have learned as a result. So
tell us about where Asea entered into your journey.
That is such a good question. So I found out about Asea through someone on Instagram I was following, and she started sharing about it. And I was like, that's interesting. But at the time, I mean, you can imagine medical bills are stacking, and I'm like, I can't afford this. Then we found I had a severe infection in my jaw from a previous surgery, and I had to have another surgery in my mouth. And so the woman who I was following started talking about using it for her dental surgery. And I thought, I should give it a try. And so like, what can it hurt? So I ordered some for the surgery. I joined as an associate to start because I needed it as cheap as possible with all the rewards and all the things. And with no intention of doing the business, no understanding about the business at all. And I had my surgery. It was 4 major spots. It was a huge thing. And I was swishing it multiple times, drinking it as well for that surgery. 2 days after, you go see the oral surgeon, they make sure everything's doing what it should do. And he was shocked. And he said, Amy, what are you doing? You're so sick. You can barely walk. Like I did lose through all this, I've lost the ability to walk. My vision has been severely impacted, digestion, pancreas, like multiple areas. Like he's like, how are your tissues healing? It's like, they look like they've been healing for 2 weeks and it's only been 2 days. And I just looked at him and I was like, have you heard of this? Like, I don't know what it is. But at the time I just was like trying to, it's like when you're so sick and you have so much going on, you're like, whatever will help me, like I will try it. And so that was my first really shocking experience with it. And then I was like, well, I better keep taking this. So I did. And I did take about a couple months off through the winter. That was like in August. And then I took some time off because I wasn't sure. I was not seeing personally the results I was hoping for in my body outside of that experience. And I just got lazy. And then the Lord was like, look at that box over there, Amy. You paid for this, because it was on subscription. So it kept coming. So I was like, okay, well, I might as well start taking it again. And at the same time I was doing that, I was starting into a new regimen, and it was really, really hard on my body. Like, and they told me this is going to be rough for you. And I was like, great. And it wasn't nearly as rough because I was taking the Asea, and the doctors were, of course, incredibly impressed. So I've just kept taking it. And now I've got my husband on it. I've got my daughter using it. She's 5. She has multiple, she's got a lot of sensitivities, and so do I, honestly, a lot of allergies and things. And so she had a full body rash, and I'm like, all right, we're giving you Asea, we're rubbing you Renew all over your body. Because the EpiPen was out of date, I couldn't use it, and I didn't want to take her to the hospital. But we put it all over her. We let her drink multiple times a day. And in 24 hours, everything was gone. It normally takes her about a week for all those rashes to go away. And with my husband, after a month, he comes to me and says, I didn't mean to, I've never told you this, but on the way home from work, I take naps in the car in a parking lot before I come because he's been so tired, because he's taking care of so much for us as I'm healing. And he's like, but now I don't have to do that because of Asea. So we've had as a family a lot of great results. For me, the severity of my health issues, I'm not seeing it's not solving all the problems, but it's giving my body the ability to recover so much faster from things that I have to go through to heal those issues that it's like when I don't take it, I feel so much worse. And I love science. And so I know that I know what it's doing. And honestly, it just proves what my body's having to go through. So I can't imagine how people walk through the stuff that I'm walking through without tools like this, because it's so helpful. And
how much do you take, your daughter, your husband, on a regular basis?
So my daughter, I'm giving it to her probably about an ounce a day, unless she's dealing with something severe or she's got a cold or something, then I'll give her more. My husband does 2 ounces twice a day, and he switches it in his gums because he's historically had gum issues, and those are all gone from when he started swishing. And then for me, I take minimum 8 ounces a day, but a lot of times I take a lot more than that. Depends on the day. If I wake up in the morning and it tastes really bad, I'm like, we're drinking a whole bottle today. That's what we're doing. Because if it tastes, the worse it tastes, the more your body needs it. And I can tell this is going to be a rough day for me. I need to really down this. But minimum I do 4 ounces in the morning, 4 ounces at night. Sometimes I just drink the little pouches throughout the day. And yeah.
Well, you learned about it through social media.
Mm-hmm.
And have you been sharing it on social media? Are you interested in sharing it with other people? And how do you do that?
Yeah, good question. Absolutely. Because I'm in this healing journey, I'm still really in the thick of recovering. I can't go out I can't go and meet people one-on-one, face-to-face very often. So social media has been such a gift to me because I'm able to share an Instagram story, or as I've been signing people up and really once I started seeing the results for myself and my husband and my daughter, I'm like, my mom needs this, and my grandma needs this, and my friend needs this. And so I started sharing. I'm like, let me learn more about the business. And I started joining calls. I started understanding more about how that's structured. And then I was like, why haven't I been doing this since I started? I should have started like that. I'm like, gosh, Amy, you could have gotten it paid for from the start. But anyway, it's such a gift the way the business is structured. Honestly, it's amazing. And honestly, the product, it sells itself. It's a gift to anyone that starts it. So I don't feel any type of way about sharing. I feel free to share because it is not native to the body, and the body needs it to heal. And everybody's got stuff they're healing from. So I have been sharing on social media. I have a website that is mine. And so I made a landing page there that I can easily send people with a lot of information if they're interested. And it's so fun because I'll get text messages from new associates or clients or customers, whatever you want to call them. And they'll send me a text like I got one this morning. Oh, let me read it to you. It's so good. This lady, she is dealing with bad cells on really bad cells. And so she just texted me this morning and said, thanks for telling me about Asea Renew. The rash had gotten better by Monday, except you could still see it. That she hadn't tried it yet at that point. By last night, it was back with a vengeance after her treatment. She put that on and it relieved the itch and the pain. By morning, all the spots are basically gone. A few residual looking red chest. Wow, that will be a lifesaver if that particular drug does that each time. That's the one I take every 2 weeks. And she had had a rash the first time and hadn't got her product in yet. And it took 4 days to go away. So it went overnight. It was gone with that, which was incredible. So I get texts like these and I share them. I just cut out whoever said, like I make sure it's anonymous and I put that in a story with a link. So if anyone wants to learn more, if they're dealing with that issue, you know, they can be encouraged there. And through that, I've been able to reach a lot of people and share with a lot of friends and people that I don't know as well that find me. So it's just been such a gift. I love social media. Can be a wild, wild west place, but for the most part, for me, it's been a joy to get to connect with people from my bed.
That is fabulous. So as you look at your vision for the future with your team, with your health, what do you see tomorrow and beyond?
Well, I will say I love Jesus. He is everything to me, and he's why I'm alive, and he's led me here to do this business, this journey with Asea. And in general, from everything I've gone through, I've tried a lot of things that didn't work and I tried things that did work. And I think one of the hardest things about being chronically ill is knowing who to trust and knowing what can actually help you, because everything's expensive and everything's hard, and getting your hopes up for something and then it not working, like that's just the emotional toll of being chronically ill and confused and tired and not wanting to spend the energy to learn everything, you know, like, because you're not the doctor, you're the person that's sick. And so, so to be able to use all the things that I've learned through this, to help others heal and heal fully and wholly, that is my goal. I just want to help people feel better. I want them to have energy. I want them to not suffer as long as I have. And so if I can do that with Asea, which I know that I can, and I believe that I will, it's a joy. It's a joy to get to see people like getting texts like that, or someone saying they've had foot pain for 15 years and they can't go up and down stairs. Well, now this woman is running around like crazy just from drinking the liquid. So things like that, where it's like, it's not me, it's the Lord giving people the tools they need to heal the way that he designed their bodies to naturally heal from that cellular place. I just feel so like blessed to have found it, to be benefiting from it, and then to get to help others. So yeah, I don't know what the future holds, but for me, that's kind of my trajectory right now. I'm thinking about, you know, just helping others with what I've learned.
That is so beautiful. And to have this be able to be another outreach that the Lord has given you. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for that. Well, I want to invite Gloria and Ruth, if you have questions as well.
Yeah, I'm just curious, Amy, how long have you actually been using the Redox?
Oh, I've only been using them for a year now. Yeah, it's been a year. So, you know, with all the like laundry list of things, like my medical binder I take from just this last year, I think it's doing incredible things just even over this past year. And I wasn't taking a higher dose until about maybe 2 months ago. I was doing the normal 2 ounces and 2 ounces, which I just didn't know. I had found the person on Instagram, but they weren't very great at educating, you know what I mean? So I wasn't really equipped with, oh, well, if you have a severe issue, you need to take more. So I didn't know that until the past couple months. And then I'm like, oh, now that I'm joining these calls and I'm learning, I think that it's going to compound, and I'm just really looking forward to the next year to see, but yeah, just a year.
You know, let's talk about these calls a minute, because you've mentioned them a couple of times. What are these calls and what's special about them?
Well, there's all different kinds. So the person I signed up under recently just started their own Thursday afternoon call. And so that's fun because we're all on the same like team. And then there's the overarching team that where I met you, Marian. And you could probably speak to this, explain this better than me, but they have 2 calls in the morning, Monday through Friday. And the early morning one is too early for me. So I sleep in. So I get on the later call and it's on Zoom and it's so easy. You don't have to talk. You don't have to share. You just can hop on and listen and learn from people. And, but if you want to, you can ask questions, and it's just an incredible resource. It's only half an hour. So I know that I can do my walking or do my sauna or do whatever it is I need to do while I'm listening. And yeah, I don't know, you probably have more to say about it, but it's just a wonderful, encouraging place to help keep you on track.
What I love about it is it's people from all walks of life.
Yes.
Homemakers, people like yourself, doctors, and all of them are passionate about sharing Asea with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're telling about their experiences. And that's why we learn from one another. So I'm so glad you're on the call, and I'm glad I met you there.
I know, it's wonderful.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, you had mentioned the tools. Which of the tools do you find to be most helpful when you bring new people on that are interested in getting to build their business?
Great. Great question. So I created this page on my website, which is not necessary for everyone to do. It's a gift that I naturally have. I've been a web designer for people and a designer, whatever, for people. So I think that way already, and it's a gift that I already have. So I was like, well, if I can have a place where I can organize information clearly and have everything there, then I'm going to do that. When I first started doing it, I hadn't thought that way yet. I hadn't built it yet. And so I sat down and I wrote out all the information I wanted to know. Like, what are the things that I wish I had known at the beginning that I didn't know until a few weeks ago? And I just crafted an email that I could copy and paste with links and information. And so, and then I made a list of people that I thought it might encourage or might help. And I just started emailing people or calling them first, talking to them. Would you like me to send this email? And I'll send you more information, or texting them, whatever. So I had that ready to go. And then my husband is at farmer's market and he hears someone talking about an issue and he's like, you should try this. And so I get a text like, email so-and-so, so it's just nice to have those things ready. So you're not having to rewrite the email or rewrite the text every time. And then a friend of mine who we've been working a lot together with this, her name's Megan. You guys know her. She's been on this call, I think. Yeah. So she started kind of helping me. She's the one that was like, you got to get on this call. And she was the one to kind of give me all the tools I needed. And she sent me a note that she had saved on her phone with like, for a new associate, welcome, a little paragraph. Here's your website. 2, here are the calls you can join. Here's the time. So she had created like for new associates, all of this information and shared it with me. And so I was able to edit that, and then I can copy and paste and send that. Cause that's honestly what I use to get on the calls every day. I don't have the information saved anywhere, but that note she gave me. And so the more you can just kind of spend a day and streamline all the information the way that makes sense to you and how you would share it, and then have it ready to go. So you can just in a draft, put an email, hey, maybe change the title or whatever, and send it. Whatever will make it to where your time is your time's so valuable. So being able to have those streamlined, that's been a tool that's been helpful for me. And then just making sure like every day, I try to give myself about an hour to reach out to people or to talk to people or to be available to respond to emails. And so I'm not all day, every day running around crazy, but I have kind of these scheduled times that I work on this, and you just chip it off a little bit at a time. And it's been working for me so far. So we'll see how it keeps going, but that's what I've been doing.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, because I think sometimes people really don't know what we do. And the fact that you schedule an hour with purpose to share with people, and then get the text to say, this is working for me and thank you. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's just good to, I mean, I work best as a creative in blocked schedules. So I don't do well with like a ton of things every day that I'm jumping around because my brain has to like create whatever world I'm creating. So I'll give myself 4 hours for one thing, 4 hours for another, but something like this where you're talking to people a day in and day out and they've got questions, you've got this. If you're always having to answer a call or answer a text at any, I can't create. So if I just say, okay, at this time, I'm then going to check my phone and then I'm going to respond to those text messages or those emails. They don't take over my whole life where I don't have time with my family or I don't have time. So it's a way for me to kind of just block out. And also it is a business. It doesn't have to be if you don't want it to be, but I have a lot of medical bills to pay. So I'm like, this is a great way for me to help others, help pay for my own product, and then also earn an income to help pay for the other things that, we need to pay for. So, so for me to treat it with respect of like, this is a business, I'm going to give it this much time. That's what I'm able to do right now. And that may expand or shrink in the future, depending on whatever, the Lord leads me to be doing with my time. But right now it's what makes sense for our family. So yeah, it just helps. It helps to just, this is when you get my Asea time, and then this is when you get my whatever time, and just helps me not get overwhelmed. So.
Well, and to have the gift of being able to help people in their health. But one of the things I wanted to know is if I shared this with Gloria, with other friends, could they make money if they wanted to? And you shared beautifully how that can happen.
Yeah. And honestly, if I ever meet someone who's like, wow, I really need this, but I can't afford it, which was really honestly where I was at, but we got to do it because I need to heal. And I'm so glad I did. I just let them know like, hey, there's no pressure to do this, but if you would like to, you can just share with a handful of friends and then you don't have to worry about that, and so it's just a way to, I love how Asea makes it so easy for people to have access to this life-changing product. Whatever season you're in and whatever need you have, the opportunity's there for you. And so I try to be very intentional with sharing that and without any pressure, because there's no pressure. That's why I love these morning calls. I love hearing these stories and hearing the experience of people that have been doing it so much longer than me and how they've been able to really see so much life change with folks. So it's just, hey, it's here if you want it, and you can get it paid for if you want to, and you can earn an income if you want to, and it's just there, but there's no pressure either way. But yeah, I wish I had known more about that when I started. It's okay. The Lord knew the timing. I obviously wasn't meant to do that back then. Now's the time. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Gloria, would you like to wrap her up for us?
Yeah, I want to thank you, Amy, for being a part of our call here today. And I want to thank you, Marian, for the interview. It was really great information. And I want to acknowledge, you said that about the timing. Time is very valuable. So I'm really for the time you were willing to share with us here today. And also, I want to thank anybody that's viewing this. Thank you for taking the time to learn more. You may be wondering, after hearing this information, what your next steps might be. For most people, there are some people that are going to be interested in just in trying the product. And others are going to be interested, but they want to have a little bit more information. Maybe they want a little bit more about the science. Maybe they want to have more information about the company. So whatever kind of information you're needing, get back to the person that invited you to watch this, and they will get you that information. And then there's other people too that are interested not just in the product, but they're interested in sharing it with others. And if that's what you'd like to do, we'd love to welcome you to our Asea family. And again, get back with the person that invited you to watch this. I do want to acknowledge that the Asea products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But what the redox signaling molecules do is to support the cells to communicate in order to detect, repair, and replace any cells they need to in order for the body to heal itself. I would like to now share with you my screen. Let's see if I have it up and ready to go. I didn't, so give me just a second while I do this. it's blocking me for just a moment here. There we go. So here, now I can share my screen. I want to invite you to join with us in a week, next Wednesday, August 31st at 3:30 p.m. We're going to have a guest, Cody Seibel, and she's a chiropractor, and she's been on before, but she's coming on again and going to be sharing with us a new way of looking at health. And this is going to be a great opportunity to learn a lot more. She's just a bundle of life and such a joy to get to spend time with. So I hope to see you all there.